Hey, you want a free PSC bow? I'm gonna make it simple for you. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're subscribed and you're liking and you're commenting on our videos, you're entered in the giveaway. We're gonna give a free PSC bow away again. You heard it here first, a free PSC bow. This is the time of the year in which most of you, maybe you're pulling your trail cameras, maybe your trail cameras got pulled after gun season, things like that. I'm here to tell you, you probably shouldn't have did that. There are certain things that I like to do this time of year in order to plan for the next year. As soon as the hunting season ends, the next one begins. A lot of people don't think about it that way. A lot of people stay out of the woods, which is fine. Leave your property alone to a certain extent if you're done hunting. Totally get it. But let's still keep some sort of surveillance on the property. So one of my favorite things to do, guys, and there's two sides to this. We're going to get into the other side of it. We don't want to, I'll get into it later in this video, but there's two parts to this basically. So the first part of this that I want to go over today is leaving your trail cameras out. How long to leave them out and what to be looking for. Okay, so like I said, a lot of you guys, your gun season was done in November, maybe in December. You had an alternative method season, maybe later in the year, a muzzleloader. Most of you were done by that point. You pulled your trail cameras and you were done. The perk to leaving your stuff out and the perk to really figuring what's going on your property is leaving those trail cameras out, and then we know what's going on the property is what I'm getting at basically. And there's a couple ways in which we do it. One, where supplemental feeding is legal, I absolutely do it. Don't use corn. Use a high protein, high fat food source. Get it in front of your trail cameras and run those cameras probably until shed season is over. When is that? Into March for sure. If we can get those deer through that mid-February to mid-March hump, your deer are going to be a lot healthier. They're going to bounce back, especially in that northern climate. But more or less the topic of this video is we're going to get the intel as to what made it through the season. Maybe learn a little bit more about their patterns. Deer tend to get back in their bachelor groups at this time of the year, which could be similar to the early season. And you could see similar movements from late, like this January, February, March, April timeframe when these bucks are all together, as you might early in September. So if you see them doing the same things now, there's crop rotation and things like that that could change, and there's always variables. But you're seeing them do what they would do while they're in bachelor groups. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And keeping those trail cameras out right now might help you predict where to be in September. Nonetheless, it is going to give you the intel as to what made it through the season, what your goals should be for the next year, what bucks you may or may not want to pass, and if anything else, just get you excited for the off season. So like I said, I absolutely recommend where legal supplementing with a high protein, high fat food source. We use a lot of Big and J, and I mean a lot of it. And where it's legal, I mean, it works like crazy. We're keeping those deer healthier. Corn is not the option. Corn is not the go-to answer. We should not be using corn late in the year, especially if your deer haven't had corn and you're in the big wood setting or anything like that. You could kill your deer. We have video topics about that. It could be detrimental to their health. You think you're doing them a favor, you're not. So leaving the trail cameras out is absolutely important this time of year, but don't leave them out too long. And that's what I wanted to get into today. For the life of your trail camera. So depending on the trail camera company you work with, some of these trail camera companies have a good warranty and some of them do not. Okay, think about it this way. The longer we leave those things out, we leave them all year, we leave them out 12 months out of the year, whatever, you're leaving them out in the elements. At the end of the day, it's an electronic. I don't care what brand it is. You are probably killing the life of that camera. You're giving it more opportunities for squirrels and raccoons to be chewing on wires and chewing on antennas. It's out in the elements. Something could crack, something could break, a bear gets a hold of it, whatever the case is. So there's a certain time in which you should be pulling your cameras, and I would say it's at the end of the March time frame. Most of your bucks, 95% of your bucks, should be dropped by April. I mean, for the most part. But if they have it, that's great, because guess what? You have a healthy deer herd. As testosterone starts to drop, the antlers start to drop. Everybody kind of knows that for the most part. And if you don't, well, there you go. Now you know. But if your deer are holding later, it's a better sign that your deer are healthier. And that's another thing, it's another perk to keeping these trail cameras up, is you can gauge, did you have enough food? Did you have enough of the right pieces on your property to ultimately hold deer, keep deer on your property, and keep them healthy? But what I was saying before is we should be pulling these cameras due to the longevity of the cameras. Okay, the batteries and all these other things, just the different components of the camera, even on a solar panel sometimes, which I tend to leave some of my cameras up for years on end on solar panels because they can keep recharging. But you have to realize that keeping them out in the elements isn't always the smartest thing to do if you're looking for longevity. So hopefully you're working with a camera company or buying from a camera company that has a has a good warranty. And if you are, you don't have to worry about that. You know, you can leave them out a little bit longer, but if you're going with some of the cheaper cameras that maybe only have a 1-year warranty, chances are you're only going to get 1 year out of that camera. And that's okay if they're a cheaper camera and you're willing to spend the money on a yearly basis, but I'd rather get something that works and it's going to work longer, whether it has that warranty or not. Go with a reputable trail camera brand. So quick little tip for you guys today. Keep those trail cameras out long, but not too long. Gauge how the deer herd's doing, what deer made it through the year. Do you have enough food on your property? When are they dropping their antlers? And write this stuff down. See if we can improve upon it in future years by supplemental feeding or planting the right food sources earlier in the year. So that replanting for next season starts right now, guys. If you like these videos, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you're always subscribed to our channel. We're always doing giveaways. If you want to win those giveaways, that's how you do it. See you guys next time.